Bhaskar sir, can you hear me now properly? நான் பேசுறது
Sir,
கரெக்டாக
sir,
இருக்கா
கேக்குது
சார்?
sir.
ஆ,
Voice cut ஆகுது sir.
வாய்ஸ் பிரேக் ஆகி வருதா சார்?
No sir, no sir.
கரெக்டாக இருக்குல்ல?
Yes sir.
ஓகே ஓகே சார். Advait Srikanth, can you hear me properly now? Hello?
Yes, sir, your voice is a bit more clear now.
Okay,
Can understand what you're saying.
yeah, fine. Purna, can you hear me now? Purna, can you hear me? Advait, can you hear me?
Sir, it is heard, not, it's not loud, but I'm able to understand what you're saying.
Okay, okay. Okay, we will start now. If not really manageable, please let me know. We may postpone then. No other option. So the first question was, which of the following method of reproduction induces overcrowding in plants? The option was vegetative propagation. So that's the correct thing. Vegetative propagation is a method of asexual reproduction. So there are lot of vegetative propagules, and by which so many organisms can be cultivated at a time. So that is the correct option. So vegetative propagation is the correct answer. Since my voice is not clear, so I will show you the solution page also. You can read and understand. The second question is, the chromatids are joined to each other by, the answer is centromere. Okay, the answer is centromere. That's the second, option B is the correct answer. And then pollen grains of wind pollinated plants are, so that's the thing, pollen grains of wind pollinated, so it should be very light. Okay, it should be very light and spongy. So I'll show you the solution also. So the first thing is vegetative propagation, and for the second one it is centromere. And then the third one is, so this is the the centromere. Okay, and the third one is light and spongy. So then only it can easily travel in the air, in the blowing wind. If it is light and spongy, then only it can easily flow in the blowing wind. Okay, so that is the option B is the correct answer. And then the next question is, so here a
Question
light
number 23 is the next biology question.
20.
23.
Yeah, okay. No, even this is 12 is the after 12. So 12 is also the biology question. Which plant hormone essential for cell division? It is cytokinin. Okay, cytokinin. So there are different phytohormones. So cytokinin for cell division. Okay, so these are all the four questions from the multiple choices. So vegetative propagation, centromere, and then light and spongy pollen grains, and then phytohormone, cytokinin. Okay, and then question number, as is it, 23, right?
Yes, sir, 23.
Yes. Am I audible now little? Is it clear?
It's understandable, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so this is the question. Why is DNA copying essential part of the process of reproduction? The question is, why is DNA copying mechanism is essential part of the process of reproduction? So tell me, what did you write, you students? What was your answer?
Sir, I wrote that GNA contains the genetic information, and without DNA, the offspring will not be able to produce important and essential proteins and enzymes.
Mm. Okay, very good. So the main key is DNA contains information for the inheritance, and if the DNA is present in the nucleus, so cell division is the main important process of reproduction. For the reproduction to occur, cell has to divide. For the cell has to divide, nucleus has to divide. For the nucleus has to divide, and inside that the DNA has to divide. Okay, DNA division results in nuclear division. Nuclear division results in cell division. Cell division results in development of maybe unicellular as well as multicellular organisms. So that's the first important thing. And then, if possible, you can connect with the gene expression process also. So gene expression in the sense, DNA is transcribed into RNA, RNA is translated into protein, and that protein performs all of the function. Okay, so that is the important thing. Okay, fine. So DNA copying mechanism and connect with the process of reproduction. So the next question is, how is control and coordination between environment and plants brought about? Okay, plant environment interaction. So like us, plant do not have nervous system, control and coordination system. Like us, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, like that plant does not possess it, do not have it. But the response is basically by chemical stimulations. Okay, chemical signal transduction, that is actually called what? Chemical signal transduction. By chemical means only plants can coordinate it, all of its processes. Okay, the chemical signal transduction processes. And then you can see the plant responses are of two types: growth dependent and growth independent response. And basically, you know, the different kind of trophisms. If you would have mentioned different kind of trophism also, like you can movement towards water, movement towards the gravitational force. Okay, so like root movement, shoot movement, like that, positive geotrophism, hydrotrophism, chemotrophism. So like that, if you justified also, that is fine. Okay, so this is about that question. Okay, control and coordination between plant and environment through chemical signal transduction and trophism, geotrophism, phototrophism, hydrotrophism, chemotrophism. So these
Yes,
are all
sir.
the different processes. Okay, fine, good. And then what is the next question?
Sir, the next question is 29.
Okay, so during a respiration in an organism A, one molecule of glucose produces two ATP molecules, whereas in a respiration of another organism, one molecule of glucose produces 38 ATP molecules. So which organism is undergoing aerobic respiration? Which organism is undergoing anaerobic respiration? What type of organism A or B can convert glucose into alcohol? Name of the so one by one, can you answer, or directly we will go to the solution portion? Okay, so one by one we will discuss here. Which organism is undergoing aerobic respiration? It is organism B undergoes aerobic respiration, because in aerobic, in presence of oxygen only, lot of ATP molecules are produced. So that's why aerobic respirations. Option B is correct for the first question. And then for the second question, which organism is undergoing anaerobic respiration? So organism is going, A is undergoing anaerobic respiration, because in anaerobic respiration very less number of ATP molecules are produced. Okay, so organism A is anaerobic, organism B is aerobic. In anaerobic respiration less ATP, in aerobic respiration more ATP molecules are produced. Okay, and then third question, which type of organism A or B can convert glucose into alcohol? So alcoholic fermentation is the anaerobic process. Okay, their incomplete breakdown of glucose occurs. So organism A only anaerobic follows the anaerobic respiration. So in organism A only convert glucose into alcohol. Okay, fine. And next question, name one organism which behaves like A. One anaerobic or respiratory organisms and one aerobic respiratory organisms. So the answers are yeast or following anaerobic respiration, fermentation. There are two types of yeast we know, baker's yeast and brewer's yeast. Okay, so baker's yeast in bakery products and brewer's yeast in alcoholic fermentation processes. Okay, so human beings, we follow aerobic respiration. Okay, so aerobic respirations. Okay, so this is about the important aspect of that question. Okay, and then again the repeated question from genetics portion. Explain Mendel's observation when we crossed a homozygous tall plant versus homozygous dwarf plant by self cross. The options are, so you have to work out this, and the parents, and then gamete formation. Okay, what was the question? See here, just a minute. Actually the question was, look at that, Mendel's observation when we crossed homozygous tall plant with homozygous dwarf plant by self cross. But maybe here it is like tall plant, only heterozygous condition is given, but here the ratios are correct, but when you would have worked out the homozygous, so the homozygous tall and then homozygous dwarf. So before that F1 progeny, if it is before this is F1 progeny or hybrid, from that it is given actually. So this is F1 progeny, the parent generation combination is not given here, but you would have understood that is understood. So this is F1 progeny or cross. Okay, so like monohybrid cross ratio, genotypic ratio is 1:2:1, phenotypic ratio is 3:1. Okay, fine.
So this question is asked in, almost past 3 exams.
In all, yeah, in all of, see, from genetics portion, always they will ask monohybrid cross or they will ask dihybrid cross. Okay, that only two options they have. So sometimes into monohybrid more frequently come, because it is comparatively easier than dihybrid cross. That's why in most of the all of the questions like in many of the board questions also you can get this question. Okay, repeatedly you can get this question. Okay, so this is one of the repeated question actually. Okay, yes, it is repeated. Okay, so what is the next question? What is asexual reproduction? Again, this kind of repeated question Lily. What is asexual reproductions? What are the different type of asexual reproduction? So what is asexual reproduction? Yes, what is asexual reproduction?
So it's a type of reproduction in which the offspring is produced from a single parent and it is produced without any
Yeah,
involvement of gametes.
yeah, that's very important thing. Okay, no involvement of gametes. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, maybe from single parent also you can say no involvement of gamete is very important. And then the methods basically, like here by mistake it is sexual but it is asexual. So binary fission, multiple fission, budding, fragmentation, regeneration, spore formation and vegetative propagation. Okay, like
Sir, is
always.
binary fission and multiple fission separate?
Yes, it is separate. Even in binary fission, there are two types. One is called binary fission at definite orientation, and second one is called binary fission at any plane, any orientation. The examples are amoeba. Okay, like in amoeba, binary fission can occur at any orientation. Okay, any part of the body it can start and it equal off, and two individual organisms can be formed. But in other organisms like planaria and all, binary fission can occur only at definite orientation. Planaria, binary fission can occur only at definite orientation. Okay, so in multiple fission, like within a cell, many spore kind of substances, malarial parasite. Okay, so there multiple fission, many spore are formed in between, and under favorable condition, the spores will burst out, and then new organism can be produced. Okay, so yes, binary fission, two different types, and multiple fission is different. But fission is division. In simple division only. But there are little variation between these different division processes. Okay, and then always when such kind of question is asked, like to get full marks you must include with proper example. Okay, binary fission amoeba, and then multiple fission plasmodium, budding in sponges and hydra, fragmentation in the definition of the thing as well as the fragmentation. Okay, here's fragmentation. What is the example? Spirogyra, simple multicellular organism. Okay, regeneration. Okay, examples: regeneration in organisms. Okay, planaria, leishmania, and include that actually, and spore formation, mucor, and vegetative propagation, different kind of plants. Okay, so the method, the definition, and then the examples are very important. Okay, so that is about this question. Be sure about this. From asexual reproduction, standard questions, okay, about this either together they may ask, or sometimes in simple also, like a little about budding, about the fragmentations, or about vegetative reproduction. Okay, and also be sure about one more thing, the plant tissue culture. Okay, like that question also, plant tissue culture, vegetative reproduction by artificial means. Okay, in lab, vegetative reproduction in laboratory. So that question is also very important. Okay, fine. So I think that one, and then the 38th question. Just a minute. So, what was the question? What about this question? Breathing involves three steps: inspiration, gas exchange, and expiration. When we breathe in, ribs moves up and flattens the diaphragm due to the chest cavity increases. As a result, air moves into the lungs. During gaseous exchange, hemoglobin binds with the oxygen and it is carried to the blood and to the body. Oxygen diffuses to the cell, and then carbon dioxide is, after utilization of the oxygen, cells releases carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide is carried to the lungs. Okay, and during that expiration, in the mechanism of expiration, the ribs moves down and the diaphragm, dome shaped, returns, diaphragm returns, and then the volume of the lungs decreases and then expels the air out. Okay, so you should know the steps in inspiration and the process of gas exchange and the steps in expiration. Okay, so inspiration, expiration, and then the process of gas exchange. So all these things you should know. And with that, here they are asking about the inhalation. Okay, what occurs, how the air travels during inhalation process. What is the correct option? What is the correct option?
Sir, D.
Hmm?
Sir, is it D?
All of you? Hmm? All of you wrote D? Yes. Nostrils, pharynx, larynx, trachea, and alveoli. Okay? So that's the option. You all written it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So you know the mechanisms also well? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So, uh, is there any questions? Always, like, what do you feel about all of the questions? You feel only easy questions are asked? You want some challenging questions? What do you feel? You might have prepared extremely well, but you may feel like the questions are very, very simple. Is it so?
Sir, they're not very simple, but they're a little bit on the easier side.
Okay, little bit on the easier side. Okay, fine. Um, anyway, okay, so keep preparing well, and as I told you in the class, uh, work out the many question papers and know as much questions as possible, and then only it helps you to refresh the answers, the concepts which you know. Okay, so keep that thing in mind, and best wishes for your examination. Okay, so anything else you want to ask or share?
Sir, the other subdivisions for this question.
Other subject questions are.
No, sir, other subdivisions of question number 38, like the second
Oh,
and
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fine, fine. So that's only one thing, right? Yeah. So here, the diagram shows part of human gas exchange system. So you tell me, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? W is what?
larynx.
Hmm. Then
X is
X is
trachea,
okay. Y is
bronchiole,
okay. Z is
bronchus.
bronchus. Okay. Actually, first bronchus, X is trachea, larynx, W is larynx, trachea, bronchiole, and then bronchus. Okay. Can you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The next one. In which organism the cell membrane acts as the respiratory surface? Option is amoeba. Okay. And then the fourth one, the diaphragm shows the ribs and some of the muscles used in breathing. So you should know what is X and all these things. Which muscle relaxes in moving from position X to position Y? What is position X? What is position Y?
Sir, in position X, the lung is filled with air, and in position Y, the lung is contracted, so it's releasing air.
Okay, so fine. Okay, the diaphragm and intercostal muscles. Basically, the ribs can stay, but the movement of intercostal muscles and diaphragm only controls the processes of respiration. Okay, inspiration and expirations both are controlled by connected with what the movement of diaphragm. Diaphragm lowers, diaphragm retains. Okay, so and the intercostal muscles that only makes the movement of what the exchange of gases. Okay, fine. So the next one is the last option. I think one more option is there, right?
Yes, sir. One more question is there.
Or is it given there? No, right?
That's it, sir.
Yeah, fine. No, the
Oh,
last
there is one
option.
more
No,
subdivision,
the
part
last
5.
option. Yeah, yeah. One more option is there, connected with the alveoli and capillaries, but there it was not given. Okay. Okay, so this is the question basically. Okay. The part where the exchange of gases occur during respiration is where it occurs. In the respiration, where exchange can occur, where the exchange can occur.
Alveoli and capillaries.
Yeah. So alveoli and capillaries. Okay. Fine. So anyway, thank you so much. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. So thanks for your patience. Okay, so best wishes for your further preparations. Fine. Shall we wind up?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.